pointless unless you get that fourth. Like, it puts pressure on the opponent, and it puts you in a winning game state, but in terms of, like, raw power itself, you need to get that fourth one, and it came down that one fight, which they weren't able to execute on. And I think ultimately not getting as much of a gold lead as maybe with a composition like that they'd hoped. I think as well, we didn't really see that whole, you know, for how much we talked up the Ryze Pantheon. The other times we've seen Ryze Pantheon, it's been like side lane, side lane, side lane constantly, and we just didn't really get that coming through. But
yeah,
as we go into this game, it is D+ now on first pick, of course, and they're banning the Jace here away from Keen. Varus also taken away. Not too much of a surprise. There was obviously a lot of power picks banned out in the last first set of bans. Rumble, Orianna. I imagine Genji probably just have to ban Karma third.
Yeah. Or, you know, if T+Kia leave a couple of good picks open, maybe you can leave both of them open and get your hands on one. Really depends on what this ban ends up being.
The thing is, again, they kind of banned the LeBlanc so that they could force the Azir ban. But I think Showmaker is a player who has more options to play into Azir. But he is just going to ban it, not wanting to risk having to go up into that. Is this just going to be the Karma ban? Feels risky to leave it open with how high priority has been. Bear in mind, you can't play Karma Ezreal. That isn't an option. But it still has just been insanely high priority, so they will take it away.
Yeah, I feel like Showmaker with this Azir ban as well might be looking at an Annie in his future.
Yeah, Annie's been really strong. A lot of good pairings still with it. Aurora is what we've often seen picked into the Annie. Aurora did get the loss streak broken earlier, but Chovy's Aurora has been very fearsome. We saw that in the LCK Cup against D+, actually, when he had that 79,000 damage game. So wouldn't be too surprised if he brought it out here. They are just going to open up with his Xin Zhao, though, especially with their Jarvan Pantheon gone. The stocks go up a little bit. Annie, though, compare well with Nocturne, with Wukong, with Vise. A lot of good pairings for that pick.
Pretty much anything that can go in with her and be aggressive and benefit from a stun that is very reliable. Xin Zhao can potentially ward off a lot of that initial damage that does get thrown into the first target if he's in there.
Yeah, I like the Aurora here because as much as it's probably into the Annie, it is a flex. We've seen Keen be, honestly, one of the top laners who's played it the most and be really comfortable on it. So I think it just makes a ton of sense to pick here. It is just going to be the Annie Wukong. We talked about this. It was successful in both groups, but when we had the Legend and Rise group,
Lee Sin,
the Wukong was like the Rise group special.
Yeah.
And D+ was in the Rise group, so I wouldn't have been surprised if they end up going for the Wukong. Considering the Lee Sin, though, and obviously the point-and-click CC of the Annie has a lot of potential for it. No, they're embracing the Rise group. They get it.
They stay true to themselves.
True to their roots. You love to see it.
Yeah. Hopefully
Rise
they don't
special.
end up in Rise group again. But I don't know, maybe they enjoyed it. Yeah, Annie Wukong, very reliable. You drop a couple of things onto a target and hope to kill them. Thinking about a Renekton now that will be locked in.
So, slamming a Renekton here, you feel a bit more comfortable because the Gnar has gone. But there's a lot of picks you can start, like there's Kennen that you can take into this. I also feel like Keen could just pick, you know, Sion into it and be okay. But it looks like they're not going to go for that now. I think part of it being there are a lot of options you can pick into it. They go for the Inara instead for Ruler. May well see some of the support pairings trimmed away from that, like the Lulu. In terms of bans towards D+, Rakan, really strong with the Wukong Annie. So maybe they want to give a look towards that and take that one away. Also, there's the prospect of like Ashe Seraphine, some of the strong duos still available. They're going to take away the Ashe. Corki Nami is still a prospect, so they might want to deal with that. I think if you are want to lean towards the Rakan with this composition, you might want to just get rid of the Lulu. but we'll see if that's the direction they go in. Yep. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Lulu's gone. Banned in this game, unlike last series, where they just didn't want to play it. They played Alistair instead.
Is this just going to be the Nami? Or, yeah, okay. I think this one's a little bit more interesting, though. Like, what else are you really that bothered about being paired with the Yanara? I feel like the Lulu's the big one.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we've seen, like, Yanara Nico, which is what they're going to go for. Just a lot of support bans coming through. I think here, just top lane for Keen. You already know both the solo lane matchups. You could go the Cannon if you wanted. We've seen that a lot into the Renekton. You could just slam a tank and be pretty comfortable.
We're getting the zoom in on the Duro, but it's not going to be his pick.
We've seen Zahen into Renekton a couple of times recently. Pretty Renekton favored early, but, you know, especially into a composition like this that D+ has, it's like that second threat in team fights, because when they all dive in, you just ult on top and stack up your passive so quickly, and you're so hard to deal with. Like, this is a very burst-focused composition from D+, so if they focus everything on to try and kill Ruler, Keen can just run rampant, but it's not the easiest lane into Renekton. And
Kalista Renata.
It might just be all they had to do is buff Kalista one time, and we're back here.
Yeah, I thought Ruler would play it more.
Yeah, the question
is, be a big one for him.
What are you pairing the Yanara with to navigate this lane? Because a lot of the picks, a lot of the range supports you would typically go for are out there. You got melee support, you're having a terrible time. Toying with the idea of a Seraphine, we've seen Seraphine specifically with Ashe, but you know, playing an Enchanter, playing a longer range pick into Renata feels pretty good.
Yeah.
But it does mean if you get caught by a Handshake, by an Annie, by a Wukong, by just about anything, you are very dead.
CV Max took a nice long stretch after that. Not sure what it means. Maybe feeling pretty comfortable about the way things have gone. Their composition is, it really just has one mode, which is we're going in and we're all inning. Renata Glass gets a lot of value out of the bailout, whereas maybe not as much out of the hostile takeover.
We all in and we explode them. And if we don't, then we go to game 3.
Yeah.
That is the plan.
That's a good plan.
That's the strategy.
You got a game buffer, you know? Take a bunch of strong picks out. Take the Annie out of the way.
We go fast, we go hard. No breaks.
Yeah. Tonight is Lolly Night, by the way, so whoever wins will be showcased on that one.
Ooh, exciting.
It's kind of like it's like a big fan meet. Feels like a leveled up one. So very enticing for the fans of either of these teams. And so we have Genji up against D+ Kia. Very curious about the Kalista Renata this time around with a very aggro comp from D+ Kia as we hop into game 2. All right, game number 2.
Notice looking at the player cams, you know how Ruler always has his like monitor really far forward compared to everyone else in the team? So does Smash compared to everyone else on D+. I wonder if he like copied Ruler's setup.
It's possible. Also, maybe they're like, we're the 80 carries, we shoot the guns, we are playing FPS. So we need to be like FPS players.
Maybe.
Be really zoomed in.
But not every 80 carries like that. But, you know, obviously Ruler's like a legacy player in League of Legends. I just wonder if Smash, who's obviously quite new, was like, oh, I mean, we've all done it, right?
What's
like,
the best setup? How does Ruler do it?
Ruler does this? I do this. Oh, maybe. That might be it. Might be completely unrelated, but it is interesting. I just noticed as the player cams when we loaded in, both of them just had the monitor up close.
I personally try to find a setup that I find comfortable, not someone else.
All right.
But, you know, maybe you try someone else's and it feels comfortable, and you're like, well, I guess there's a reason why they're using this. Could be the case.
Get some inspiration.
Yeah.
From the greats.
Creating some lore for Smash and Ruler, potentially.
Yeah, I am just, you know, I'm asking the question. I don't know this.
No, I mean, it's hard facts. No.
People are going to put this down as an absolute...
Yeah, yeah.
No.
It's like the trivia page for Smash.
Oh.
It's like on Wikipedia. Actually, straight up copied Ruler setup, and that's why he uses it.
They're always so accurate.
You know, it's really funny when for the Pog state.
Don't talk to... No. No. Don't...
I loved Degon's one.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Mine, not so much. But
I
know
thought
what?
yours was very accurate, actually.
Just stop talking. Let's focus on the game. Let's get a little game focused.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. There's a lot going on.
There's so
we
much
really
going
need to
on.
Zoom in here.
Zoom in,
and,
focus on the game, Brendan.
Yeah.
Lock in. You need to lock in. Gen G also need to lock in. So
I mean, if Gen G's not locking in, why do I have to?
Gen G are locked in, okay? They picked Seraphine.
I really hope they are.
They picked Seraphine. They're locking in. Oh, no, they might be locked in a bad way.
Yeah, I mean, this is an early gank from a Wukong, so...
Okay, they got out.
Little damage.
They weren't locked in. I thought they were locked into the gank. They actually got out, so they're okay. You know what? I'm not going to say lock or locked for the rest of the broadcast. Ban now.
You got it out of your system.
No, but I'm banning it because it's annoying me, and it's annoying me. I have no doubt it's annoying everyone else way more.
I think it's a pretty good word. I feel like it has a nice ring to it, you know?
Yeah, but if you say anything too much, it gets really annoying.
Yeah, it does.
Like imagine if we
he is Jin.
Imagine if we just kept saying, I don't know, it's Slurkle all the time.
Yeah, I'll leave that one to Atlas. I do say it, though. I feel like it's a very good describer of the ability.
Yeah, I'm not slandering Atlas, actually. We'll keep saying Slurkle, don't worry. I know everyone's going to be in an uproar about that one.
Yeah, tempo vibes.
Yeah.
I feel like the tempo vibes after that game won heavily in favor of D plus Kia. Just like we saw Kium DRX, like they came back from very far behind. Wasn't necessarily the same feeling for D plus Kia. They weren't super far behind. But it was like one team fight into, okay, we just win the game, which very much happened to Kium DRX and D plus Kia. So Kium DRX came in the game too and kind of just continued rolling. Maybe D plus Kia can do the same.
I don't know in this game, just because I feel like last game was very much like, okay, nothing happened, that favors us. Even though it's just the dragon stacking, there wasn't like a big snowball. This game, I think Gen G do well if nothing really happens. We're seeing top lane. She is getting a gold lead, well, a farm lead, which isn't a surprise. This is kind of how we've seen this matchup going. But there's a hen. Oh.
Level 6 hit, and Showmaker is. I respect that.
Yeah, a little scary. So, top lane's to scale on to beat a monster. Mid lane's already starting to see some problems. We've seen this Aurora often picked in the Annie and Chovy, proving why. Bot lane's just kind of going pretty passively, which, you know, you have a Seraphine Yunara. That's great.
Just hang back and Bro and Brew. But Bro isn't here.
Oh, you know what I just thought about? You know how we so often get the Ash arrow slow, well, not like the ult arrow, but like the
the volley
into the Seraphine route? Ruler has the Slurkle slow into the route. That's the tech. That's the combo.
Wow.
That's the missing tech this whole time.
Seems a lot more difficult to hit.
A lot less consistent.
Although the Slurkle is very fast.
It's a lot less consistent, but that makes the challenge. Well, I mean, that's the thing with Ashe, is your auto is also slow.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's pretty guaranteed.
This is some Annie gameplay in mid.
Yeah, really fun to play against.
Chovy has 2 stacks of the refillable and also almost has his TP, so not a big deal for him. We did get a very early Drake by the way. Lucid just picked that one up.
Yeah, that was super rapid. I mean, I think that's good. Oh, that's good.
You know how I was like, this isn't a big deal for Chovy?
More of a deal.
Has to not tank a bajillion damage, and then it won't be.
Yeah, that's not optimal.
He also missed the cannon.
Wow, that's
and
very
that's
rare.
Chovy.
Chovy, not Chovy?
You guys were here for that. Like, that's a historic moment.
That doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
Yeah, so mid got a little bit tough now for Chovy, but obviously Showmaker down flash means something could happen, could set up for it. But yeah, that early Dragon pickup really big for D+ when they are a team who want to set the pace of the game, want to push it forward, having that Dragon already in pocket. It is mounting it to Cloud, so they're just praying, hoping it is a good soul if you're investing these resources to securing it and are very sort of invested in having a more early mid-game focused series.
Yeah, I think they want to see Cloud Soul. Because you're all going in, you're all pressing your ults. If you can stick to the enemy targets, that's gonna feel amazing.
Wow, Cloud Soul would be great, Brendan, if there wasn't a Cloud Dragon second.
You know, I think you're onto something.
Yeah. Come on, Brendan.
Wait, you just said it too. I don't know why my brain just like... I guess I think my brain is very tailored to ignore you a lot of the time.
Wow, you turning this on me now? Focus up. Top right of the screen.
All right, well...
That's where we see the dragon.
As long as there's not a Chemtech Soul, you have me beat on this one.
If there is, it's on you now.
Then it's even. Because that time it was you not paying attention.
Yeah.
Just like yesterday. Or was that yesterday?
It was yesterday.
It was a couple of days ago.
No, it was yesterday. See, this is you not paying attention. Okay, Korea's in the mid lane, trying to help Showmaker get the push in. Grubs are up and available, so I think Lucid might just move over there. They have control in the vicinity, and Thro's making no move, so I think there's no real contest coming in.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like just D+ stacking up objectives pretty freely in this situation, and Canyon not having the most high impact series.
Yeah, I feel like his Pantheon was very, how do you put it, laid back. You know, and that's generally not what you want to see from a Pantheon.
Remember 2 ults. There was the ult when Lucid jumped on him and he just ulted out like nope.
Yeah.
And there was the ult when he ulted mid and got instantly Anivia stunned and died. He may have ulted other times, but those are the 2 I remember prominently.
Yeah. We got a decent wave here. Keen pretty low. Lucid looking for the dive. And is just going to throw out the Cyclone. There is the Grim Deliverance, but Keen getting pretty low. Lucid nearly dies as the flash away, but Walk and Shu does pick up the kill. Does flash away from the last turret shot. And that is first blood. It was difficult, but they got it.
Considering Keen's health at the start of that play, he really made them work for it. But in the end, when you start that low on health, when you don't have your passive stacked, so hard to turn it around. And it ends up being a successful gank. A lot of resources invested with the double flash, but to be fair, you're trading 2 flashes for 1 flash, and you get the kill. I think you're pretty happy with that. Yeah, so Shu ults, gets the early damage down, and it's stacking his rage up. So, very close to having the damage there. Nearly Lucid going down when Keen turned it around, and then here, flashing out away from that last turret shot. I think Keen did everything he could, but again, you enter that scenario on that level of HP, it's very hard to turn it around.
Yeah, now it's almost 1,000 gold, the lead to Shu. Keep in mind that he did blind the Renekton, and then the Zahen came in later. And obviously, early on, the Zahen's not going to have a fun time, but I do like how DK are kind of doubling down when they're winning and saying, okay, let's use the lead we have early with the Renekton and the nice gank setup and try to get something going here. Now, Canyon trying to stake his claim here on the Cloud Drake, meaning no Cloud Soul Valdez. And we'll see if D+ Kia decide to fight for this. They know this is warded and that Lucid will be spotted coming in. He also doesn't quite have his ult yet.
Yeah, no flash either, but it's coming up soon, the ult at least. They need to get in quick, though.
Slurkle. Utilized. They're just gonna turn onto Showmaker and kill him. So no more Annie. And Showmaker, no Tabers, no flash. Lucid still sticking around. And it's just going to go in on a Chovy. They don't have the damage, though. He just flashes away. And now Ruler is just going to taxi them out. Career trying to turn on the Chovy here. It's Infernal Soul on the way, and Genji do pick up the Drake.
I think pretty big. Genji getting the Drake, denying the stacking from D+, and getting that kill as soon as Showmaker went down. Just felt kind of impossible to easily fight from there out. And they kind of fished for it. I thought they were going to try and go for a steal and then disengage, but they actually fully committed to the fight and just went. I mean, I say fully committed. They went in with a way to disengage, but they weren't really focused on the dragon.
A pullback here on a Shiu. He's in a bit of trouble, but he does have Lucid coming on up. There's the Q, empowered, and now Lucid is right here. They get the kill on a Canyon. And now Keen's got it all stacked, but he still has to back away. And a nice turnaround from the D+ top and jungle.
Yeah, they went in there, and Keen was pretty low, so he didn't want to like fully commit. He's like, Canyon can clean this up. I don't want to, you know, risk dying. And just ended up not doing enough damage to the Renekton. The Renekton's so strong right now, and Lucid just comes in, sweeps up, picks up the kill. This is now a major issue. And bear in mind, you know, this fight went well, but the Renekton wasn't there. I mean, this was a great from Duro. Out of the banana brush, out of vision. CC chain, deletes the Annie before anything happens. But yeah, this Renekton is so strong at this point in the game. The Wukong's nearby. They used a lot of damage. You can see Keen was kind of like backing away, like, I don't want to, you know, potentially go down. But it just meant Canyon was kind of just getting melted.
Yeah.
That rank 2 ultimate from Shiu actually just does so much damage. Especially like when he's level 11 and like your Xin Zhao is level 9. It just shreds.
Yeah.
It's so much.
Smash in a bit of trouble here, got slurkled up, and now has to flash away from the play. And so a lot of running towards brushes, not going well for D+ Kia players.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, state of the game, mid and bot, not going good for D+. Even the bot's even, you're playing into Yunara Seraphine. If we're even, I would much rather have Yunara Seraphine.
Yeah.
By far. Mikhail's picked up as well for Duro. So we often see like the Helia Diadem combo, like rushed, but he's like, no, they have a lot of CC, I want Moonstone. So wanting to protect his AD carry makes a lot of sense. Chovy is ahead mid, but it's this jungle top for D+ that is a little bit of a concern. This Renekton in particular is going to be a problem if he can join and be in these team fights. Next one, I mean, there's Herald in 30, Infernal in 2 minutes. If I'm D+ right now, I would want to play around the Herald. You might even be in a position where Genji don't contest you, just because, you know, the Renekton's so strong and present.
Yeah.
You get the Herald and use the Herald for the Dragon team fight. You know, leverage the combat Herald.
Yeah.
But like, look at the Renekton having that full Black Cleaver. You've just had the Malignance picked up for Showmaker, which is a big spike. Callista on Blade of the Ruined King. This is a point of strength, so I think you should be chaining these objectives together. You shouldn't let Genji get close to this and potentially steal it away.
Lucid is up 2 levels on Canyon right now. It has that level 2 ults. He is ready to party. He's got flash. And I think at the drop of a hat, DK will be ready and willing to go for a fight, unless Smash just dies for free. Yeah, they just dove him and killed him. And there was no Renata nearby. He didn't have flash. He just kind of melted.
They just run him down. No other way to spin it. And now you've lost so much pressure on the map. Looks like he's just going to go towards Herald, and Genji aren't overly interested. Still not wanting to contest too heavily, but getting a lot of deep control on the bot side. I think the Dragon is going to be the more pertinent focus. You can see them getting vision. You can see Duro moving over to secure it. And honestly, they can just do the same thing to Smash again. They didn't burn any, summoners taking him out. He's still flashless, right? They don't have like a Mikhail's or something. So if a Seraphine ult hits him or something like that, they're in a great spot. They're starting to set up vision on the bot side of the map.
Getting a lot of looks at this top lane trading. I mean, she was up an item And yeah, Keen is kind of still holding his own down a level as well. This is where they just run at him.
Yeah. Lucid and Courier just aren't there, and Smash is like, I can stay. They just run him down. It's really easy. Two champions who are quite mobile against a Calista who had nothing to jump off, no flash, no backup. No Renata there to really help. Not even in range to ult and like use the knockup. So pretty tough. And now Genji are the ones with more control in the river, but it looks like D+ trying to push in.
Yeah, really trying to get control of that side brush here. Banana brush control to DK as well.
You have good targets, you know. This backline is squishy. The Mikhail's is a little bit of a problem though.
Yeah. Just gotta pull the trigger on the one target that's hopefully not Canyon. Big chunk into Chovy, but Chovy's looking to push forward on the Showmaker actually. Machine Worlds and a lot of damage already in. The stun does go on to Showmaker, or rather on to Chovy from Showmaker, but lots of chunks either way, and Genji push in, take Banana Brush control.
Yeah, they get control once again of the river. A lot of back and forth here. Both mid laners kind of got chunked out there. Looks like Showmaker's going for the recall. Try and get some health back. I imagine Chovy will too as he's been through all his mana. Or is he just going to stick around? No, he's going for the recall now.
Yeah.
Has the empowered recall from the boots. But Showmaker's back quicker. I think Shiwa should get in position to TP.
Yeah. It looks like he was trying to run away from Keen. We're seeing them kind of battle in the Pixel Brush up top.
D+ need their Renekton if they're going to fight this.
I don't think they're going to get it. This looks like it's just going to come down to a flip. The knockaway, the Seraphine all down to 8, and Canyon gets it. And the flip goes the way of Genji. It's now D+ Kia. Now they want to try to go in for a fight, but it's too little, too late. And Genji have already disengaged.
Yeah, I don't like the strategy of just don't have a Renekton. This point of the game in particular, your Renekton's so strong, so ahead. He is the person who's ahead. If you're going to be contesting these dragons, I feel like you should be playing around having the Renekton come in.
Yeah.
If your game plan is, well, we don't want to fight the dragons, I'm like, why did you pick this comp, if I'm being real? You guys have Calista, Renata, Renekton, Annie. You know, what are you waiting for?
And Wukong.
Yeah. Like, you're into your Nara Seraphine. The Zahen as well is going to be a big issue. So I just think the game is on a timer already.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at a situation where, you know, if you get Soul, it's like 34, 35 minutes is going to be like the earliest you would have Soul. So far away. Like, at that point of the game, I don't even know if it's going to be enough. With how online Genji would be, you know, you'd have to actually just be sizably ahead and get the Soul. So I think the Dragon win con is kind of a little bit out of the window for D+. They need to start thinking, how can we be a bit more proactive and get the ball rolling in our favor?
Yeah. I actually wanted to see a replay of the non-fight around the Drake, because I wanted to see if there were any flank TP wards or any opportunity for Shiu to find an angle. Like, he was just skirmishing with Keen the whole time.
Yeah, and
which was the biggest issue, obviously.
He had TP, so he could have backed off, reset, TP'd in, you know. I know it's fun as a top laner just to scrap with the other top laner. I get it. You want to see the big damage number at the end of the game. But sometimes you got to take a break from that and join the team fight. When you're playing, you know, Renekton.
And you're 2-0.
Yeah.
And you're much stronger than the Zahen right now.
Yeah. Like Keen was happy.
That power.
Keen's like, cool. We want to stay in the side lane. We don't join the fight. I'm down for that.
Yeah. He likes pressing his buttons on the Renekton too. Less so team fighting right now. But yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to get a look at the replay, which I think is fine. We kind of know how it went down. At the end of the day, this is a very passive game once again. And maybe D+ Kia are just waiting for kind of like the game one.
Maybe the answer in this matchup is just pick the better scaling. Based on what we're seeing now, neither team is really has the get up and go, you know?
Yeah, feeling a little sleepy. But they're the second match of the day. We're not even at 3 p.m. anymore.
True.
Like sometimes on those old weekend times, like the first game was like the players were still rubbing their eyes.
Yeah.
They got up way too early, aka 12 p.m. She was getting flashed on here. He's got a lot of trouble ahead of him, and this time they're able to chunk through the Renekton, and that's going to spark Smash to go all in on a ruler.
Okay, good amount of damage onto the Inara, but didn't really achieve anything other than holding Ruler a bit accountable. But a gank onto Shiwu. A lot of gold picked up for this Ahen. And there's no fixed point where the Renekton stops being strong, but I feel like the scales, the balance is starting to shift towards the Ahen. Not specifically in the 1v1 matchup, but in terms of the value brought to team fights. Keen is starting to become more and more relevant.
Yeah.
A bit scarier, a bit more spooky. You know, that gold differential went from 1.2k to only 800 now. Managed to pick up the tower as well. And just it's going to get to the point where this Ahen, very tanky, very hard to cut through. If you're in the fight as well, like, there's not that much sustained damage on D+. The champion who has sustained damage is Kalista, and Kalista hates Ahen because you have to rend him to kill him, and then he goes into his revive.
Yeah.
Which feels horrible.
Also, generally, he's just not a very nice person, so Kalista's not a big fan.
That too.
I actually don't know the Ahen lore, but I would assume that's the reason.
There was that Xin Zhao fighting the... What was the thing called? There was a cinematic about it.
There was.
Xin Zhao was fighting the thing with Yunara, and then he was like, I can't beat this. And then he made a deal with... It's, what's it called? Oh, what are they called? Like, Kane's one as well. And Neferi. Darkin.
Yeah, Darkin.
Made a deal with the Darkin and became Ahen so he could win the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
That's my butchered understanding of the lore.
Well, it seems like he's not that mean after all.
There's going to be someone who actually understands the lore listening who's going to be so angry right now.
Listen, when the MMO comes out, then I'll pay attention. We do have a fight over the Drake and also in the bottom lane. Banana Brush control this time going to go to D+ Kia.
Okay, Genji kind of forced out here.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, the Renekton's here!
Wow!
He's present at the fight.
It helps that he was in the bottom lane already.
How easy was that dragon take when the Renekton was actually there? That's crazy.
And Genji are just like, yeah, we already got one. We don't care if you get one. Whatever. We're going to get your mid turret.
You know,
well,
our team
we're not.
Are so polite.
Close.
It's a dragon for me. It's a dragon for you.
Yeah.
Not being greedy. You know, I think we get a lot of games where one team just hoards them all.
All right, Canyon wants to go in on this. They're immediately going to turn onto him. The bailout is there, and that's a free kill on a Canyon. Not sure about that one. Career jumps into 4, though. And now Keen is like, I'm ready to go. She's got the flank angle. And now this wayward engage from Canyon is not very much paying off for the side of Genji, as eventually the Rens will hit and he will revive, as you mentioned. But this time, Keen doesn't have any help. As Chovy's like, no, I'm not going to do anything. Let me just hit this minion wave. That's 2 kills to D+ Kia, just like that.
You know, credit to D+ for catching, but I'm just not sure why Genji were throwing. Canyon in this situation, the dragon's already gone. The tower is right there still, and he just tries to engage onto the Wukong. The revive comes in for the Renata, so it ends up just working out really badly. Renekton's on this big flank. And so Genji are like, guys, we cannot fight this. Renekton is behind us. So Keen's like, well, I can't really get out anymore. I guess I'll just die? Yes, that is what will happen.
And then die again.
But it just feels like they got impatient. It's like they didn't fight the dragon. Okay. And they were like, well, not much has happened this game. We should do something.
Yeah.
I don't think you needed to. If you're not going to fight the dragon, just don't fight. Like, it's okay to make that decision.
Yeah. You don't have to force a fight with no objective and no...
Oh, that was a nice flash.
And a good flash, but Duro, not even the disengage cone to save him this time. And that is no Seraphine on the map.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like they want to run at the Baron just yet, but they do want to dive.
The game's spiraling out of control. And once again, Lucid has a pretty big farm lead over Canyon. More impact. Just getting more done right now than his counterpart. It's been a slow-paced game, but feels like it's been a bit of a struggle for the top jungle of Gen G compared to the counterparts.
Yeah, I do have to say...
I was worried about this D+ comp. I was like, it's on a timer. It's going to be problematic. You get late. What's the Callista going to do?
It just feels like there was a very clear win condition for Gen G, and this was the opposite of it. As this all starts because they kind of got baited by trying to go for Annie.
Yeah, it's so pushed up here on a Seraphine. And like, it was actually a great flash, but it just doesn't, like, you're so overextended looking for that kill. You know, I think one thing as well, normally we get the Ashe Seraphine, and what really helps the Seraphine is having map hacks. And just being able to see everything at all times, which we don't have with Yunara Seraphine, so... Oh, look who had the most damage, by the way. It's the top laners. I wonder how they pulled that off.
Well, in a game where nothing happens...
No, there's a lot of games where even when stuff happens, they just fight each other.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Remember when Rek'Sai top was
Especially
the big
if
thing?
there's a tank.
And they were just doing like 50,000 million damage?
Yeah. No more Rek'Sai top. Feels like we solved that one out of the meta.
Thankfully. Okay,
now we
a
just
minute
get blind
15
picks Renekton's to take over games.
A minute 15 on the Dragon. Will we get a fight for it?
Chovy? Yeah, he's going to take a bunch of damage, but has to throw out his ult just to survive.
The Renekton's still very scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Zehen is also scary now, but the Renekton's still a big problem. And he's past level 16. I always talk about this. I love talking about it. They buffed his ult like 7 times in a row. The damage on it is absurd.
Nice pullback here on a Lucid. That's going to force a Cyclone here at an inopportune time.
Yep. They get his clone as well. Which, you know, only has like a 14-second cooldown, but whatever. Oh,
Chovy's really playing with fire with no Between Worlds. They are going to bait him in with the TP, but that's now no TP for Keen.
I mean, it's not too much of an issue because you're on the bot side of the map. Like, it's not actually a major problem. I guess one thing is you lose the shield.
Now we get another TP here from Chovy. Trying to, like, really extend this to get you low right before the dragon pops.
Q has no ult now, which I just talked about being OP. So, not going to have that available for the fight.
Well, hey, look, it's almost back. But if they started up right away, yeah, they're okay. They're just going to run at the Baron.
Another non-fight. Okay.
I think they do this too quickly. I think they're just going to be here for the Baron.
Yeah.
I'm saying Gen G do the dragon too quickly.
Yeah. I mean, they've just started hitting the Baron.
They should be on time.
They've left Keen on the dragon.
Yep.
And Canyon is here.
There's Vision.
It is a rend, though, on the Baron.
That's true.
It's difficult.
Canyon's already taken a decent amount of damage as well from Shiyu and Career just helping.
Oh, but it's so risky. Chovy's there.
Yeah, they're just going to back off of it. The Ren stack was there, and they say never mind, as we got a 1v1 in mid. Keen flashing on Showmaker, who is so low, and now Lucid's just going to go in, but Keen got the kill, and now Lucid immediately pops like a balloon. And the damage just wasn't there to blow up Canyon this time. Couple of kills to Gen G.
Now they can go for the Baron. This has been a peculiar game. A lot of handshaking. Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of handshaking, a lot of agreeing not to fight over the dragons, but fighting a little bit after. And the end result is Gen G pulling ahead on this one. Keen just finds Showmaker. Yeah, Showmaker burns the stun, and then Keen's like, oh, okay, well...
Showmaker finds Keen, and then finds out.
Yeah. Also buffers the second stun with a dash, and then just flashes on him. In the meantime, Lucid goes for the engage, but doesn't catch Chovy. And Canyon with the ult can survive. This is just very hectic. Feels like both teams definitely testing each other on this one. But a lot of it, like, judging on fights, like, have we got the position to fight this? No, okay, we're not fighting it. Have you got the position to fight this? No, okay, give it over. We're not fighting. Oh, we are fighting this? Oh, they don't want to fight. They don't have position. And then it's like these sort of sporadic picks around these objectives that aren't dragon, right? I mean, we've had 3 dragons in a row where they haven't fought. Has it been 3 in a row? Or was it 2 in a row?
I think it's 2.
2 in a row they haven't fought.
Got Death's Dance and GA here for Shiyu and Lucid. So maybe they can fight over the next one, but Gen G are going to get a lot out of this push.
Oh no, Duro.
Yeah, Duro's just going to flash.
Showmaker.
Oh, look at this angle. He's going to find the front line, and it's just Duro. And that might just be enough. They only get the clone here of Lucid. Keen as well being taxied out and is just CC'd to death. And now Ruler and Canyon on the run. And not much for them to do except get out of there. At least there's no objective, but the Baron push stops now.
Yeah, Chovy wasn't there, but also Duro having to flash early means he's not able to survive the combo from Showmaker, that engage. Everyone else had to dip away from that. And with Duro down, no peel to help out for Ruler from the Renekton. He just goes down. Chovy's fishing, but won't find anything. Yeah, so Duro getting caught out here trying to set up vision. So he has to flash already. So when Showmaker comes in, it's like, oh man. He goes for the ult, doesn't go for the self-Mikhails, so he just dies. But it's by time, but now Ruler has no peel. Renekton flashes onto you and just melts you. You know? Not able to do anything from there on out. Has to just disengage from the play. The game's still so even in terms of gold.
Yes, it's bounced back and forth at different times. I mean, you talked about at around this point in the game, the 34-minute mark, you know, if DK were going to get all the dragons, maybe this would be the time where they could stack to an Infernal Soul, but this should be the time where Gen G are very strong.
Gen G got another one, so
they also
it went over to them.
One, so.
Yeah, I mean, there's still like the engage potential of D+ if they gotten the right targets, but I do think the game is feeling a little... It's tough. It's tough. There's a lot of threats on the side of Gen G. But if you explode Ruler or Duro, it gets a lot easier.
Yeah, well, D+K have been very patient about their engage angles, sometimes waiting for Gen G to engage on them before going in.
There's been a lot of patience in this game.
Yeah.
In a very you know, classical sort of game. Not your sort of like blitz game.
Yeah. Oh, decent amount of burst on a career, but he's okay. Oh, the scanner gonna miss Showmaker. And they might have this angle on a Ruler, but there's no flash for Showmaker. He used it in the last fight onto Duro.
Oh, big TP flank from the Crocodile.
Big one. And Showmaker's gonna be spotted, but Lucid keeps everybody around with a gigantic Cyclone. And now you got to decide which target you're going for. The Between Worlds does a great job of zoning. Shiu trying to access Ruler right now, who is getting extremely low. Couple of shields come through, but Ruler is down. And that is exactly how DK win fights. They take out Ruler, and they will take out the front line as well. Canyon and Keen to boot. 3 kills for DK on top of what should be the Dragon, as long as Keen doesn't do anything crazy. And no, they will not, as they take it, and they're looking for a bottom lane push on top of it.
They're looking for an end. You know, you say 3 kills, I say 6. They have to kill Keen 3 times to get him down. And now it's just Chovy and Duro alive. This should be enough, I think. Chovy has to kind of pull off a miracle defense. The wave is thin. That's the only thing.
Yeah, and they don't have Baron.
But they have GAs. On Lucid at least, so he can kind of play super aggressive on the back of this.
They have ways to tank it up.
Chovy has ult. Ult can do a good job of clearing the wave.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, he's going to try to throw it out here. That's a lot of damage in. And he's not going to take the cannon down, and now he's going to go down himself. The cannon's still alive. Although we do have Shiu also dying, so maybe they can't push in anymore. But
yeah,
DK still a massive push here.
Oh, Keen has TP, by the way. Yeah, Ruler and Canyon back up. There's no TP ward. It's enough to save the game. Chovy doing a good job dipping between. Those Aurora base defenses can be huge. But this fight, this flank, and they're so patient with it. Because he could flash towards Ruler there over the wall, but he doesn't. He waits. And then Ruler's trying to make value out of his ult. Moves in. He gets on top of him, starts getting the damage down, and Lucid dives in to follow. And even when Shiu gets CC'd, the ult damage is ticking. They kill Canyon. Canyon reses. They kill him again. Keen reses. They kill him again. Keen reses. They kill him again.
Yeah.
6 kills, we'll count it, in that fight. And then here, the ult does so much damage. He doesn't clear the cannon, but they're so concerned about dealing with Chovy that Ruler gets to respawn, gets to kill Shiwu. The cannon's pretty low. It's honestly I remember there was that game where Shiwu was on Aurora and he got that mega base defense.
Yeah.
It's one of those champions who are so good at base defenses. Another mid laner, and maybe it was just an end for D+, but they still did a ton of damage to the base, and they didn't lose much. They only lost the top lane on the back of it.
Oh, look at this again. Gen G are just pushing down mid, and the angles
so scary.
are here. Like,
Shiwu.
The entire map is dark, and Ruler, he does have his flash this time, but he's just gonna get burned down. He's so low, running away from the Timbers, and Chovy's extremely low as well. Smash gonna take out Canyon, and Chovy and Ruler just have to run away. They're not even part of the fight, even if they don't die. And Lucid's still on the chase. The crowd is going absolutely bonkers. And D+ Kia, they might have done it.
The super waves pushing in the bot lane. Chovy doesn't have his ult for this base defense. Lucid still has GA. Smash and Korea healthy. This should be enough just to end the game.
Look at Showmaker. He's so low, but he has his Timbers up, looking to push forward, and Shiu is an actual raid boss. They can't get away from him. And Ruler, desperate to try to clear the wave, pays his life for it, and save for Chovy. D+ Kia pull up the 2-0 on Genji.
A massive series. D+, who I feel like was struggling to find a footing, on the regular season so far, take down Gen G. When we said Gen G were back to their usual selves, well,
I believed it.
I believed it too.
For Gen G to make mistakes, waiting for the right calls, the right timings to go in, and the predictions have just been wrong all the time nowadays because the teams are just... they're just getting huge upsets left and right. It just keeps happening. Like, look at the angle he gets here as well.
Yeah, him and Showmaker. It's like a pincer move. It's so good. The timing is just flawless. They eliminate the backline, and then the rest of Gen G has nothing they can do.
And it's chaotic because this fight was very kind of split. And a lot of calls to go bottom. Feels like the bottom lane, both Smash and Career, are doing a lot of the shot calling.
Being very vocal.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting to see the sort of dynamic of how it's going, the comms in game.
Yeah. This is when they knew.
Oh yeah. It's so fun to watch. Korea always pops off so much.
Yeah.
It's a great day for D+. Great day for D+ fans as well. Just in shock.
I don't know who this is, but one of these fans is still in shock. And it's a lot of damage to Shiu. He was hitting Keen for a lot of the game, but you know, the damage number isn't the important part. It's his impact on the team fights and the flanks that he got every single time when it mattered.
Yeah. I mean, I think honestly, Lucid had a great series over Canyon. I think he played really well, but I think it was such a Shiu POM. I just think like the flanks on the Renekton were crazy. But I think the top jungle, really solid.
Yeah, top
really
jungle
solid.
is huge.
And I think recent matchups between Lucid and Canyon's kind of had his number. But this one was a big bounce back. And Shiwu just, you know, pop-up performance.
Yeah. We keep putting crying fans on. Everybody's crying. Nobody can believe it.